Asterisk welcome back to Kindness Stories, where courage, resilience, and heart always shine through. If you've ever felt like the underdog or like the world was against you, this story will remind you that sometimes the people you least expect are the ones who rise with power, grace, and justice. Stay tuned, because this story has twists, turns, and one jaw-dropping moment no one in that school will ever forget. Asterisk Amara Jennings had always been the quiet girl, the one who sat in the corner of the classroom, did her assignments ahead of time, and rarely raised her hand. Her deep brown eyes often avoided attention, her curly hair usually tucked under a hoodie, and her voice no louder than a whisper. She wasn't trying to hide. That was just who she was. But to the bullies at Southwood High, quiet meant weak, and weakness, to them, was blood in the water. Asterisk get started with little things. Her books knocked off her desk, her seat mysteriously taken every day, forcing her to sit in the front row where snickering surrounded her. Whispers followed her in the hallway, pencil shavings dumped in her bag. A trip to the cafeteria meant an accidental spill of juice on her homework. Amara took it all silently. She never retaliated, never told the teachers. She would go home, cry in her room for 10 minutes, and then study for her next math test. But what no one knew was that her silence wasn't fear, it was patience. She was waiting. Asterisk what even her closest classmates didn't know was that Amara's dad, Lieutenant Brandon Jennings, was the head tactical officer of a local SWAT team, and today, they were training just across the field from the school gymnasium. Asterisk it was a chilly Thursday afternoon, right after fifth period. The bell rang, and students began flooding the hallways. Amara clutched her books, head down, as she moved toward the library, her favorite time of day. The library was a refuge, silent, organized, and free of the chaos outside. Asterisk, but 3 of the worst students in the school had other plans. Tara, the ringleader, was known for her cruel jokes and toxic charisma. Jordan, the muscle, followed her everywhere like a shadow. And then there was Lacey, whose cruelty was always coated in fake sweetness. Asterisk they caught up to Amara near the girls' bathroom. Tara stepped in front of her, arms crossed, a smirk on her lips. Lacey locked the bathroom door behind them. Asterisk going to read your little fancy books again, freak. Tara laughed, shoving Amara's shoulder. Amara stumbled, but stayed upright. Her knuckles tightened around her books. Asterisk just leave me alone, Amara whispered. Asterisk Jordan stepped closer. What was that? Speak up. Asterisk Lacey grabbed her hoodie and yanked it down, exposing Amara's messy bun. We should give her a makeover. Asterisk Amara tried to back away, but Jordan pushed her forward. Let's drag her to the back stall. No. Camera's there. Asterisk Amara's heart pounded, but still, she said nothing. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She just stared, her eyes unblinking, calculating, quiet as always. Asterisk they grabbed her by the arms. Tara laughed like it was a game, but just as they shoved her into the stall and Lacey reached for the scissors, she'd hidden in her sleeve. A low vibration suddenly echoed through the bathroom wall. Asterisk it was a voice through a radio. Asterisk Lieutenant Jennings, breach in 30. Ready team. Asterisk Jordan paused. What was that? Asterisk Lacey looked around, confused. Did you hear that? Asterisk then came the sound of heavy boots, real, rhythmic, uniform steps, the kind you only hear in action movies, and they were getting louder. Asterisk before they could process what was happening. The bathroom door flung open with such force it slammed into the tile wall and stayed open. In its frame stood a man dressed in full tactical gear, helmet in hand, eyes blazing with fury. Behind him, 6 other officers in body armor and vests filed in silently, each scanning the scene. Asterisk it was Lieutenant Jennings. Asterisk his voice boomed, calm but dangerous. Step away from my daughter. Asterisk Jordan let go instantly, as if burned. Lacey backed into the corner. Tara froze mid-step, the scissors falling from her trembling hands. Asterisk I said, step away. Asterisk Tara raised her hands slowly. We were just, asterisk quiet. Asterisk 2 of the officers moved in, gently guiding Amara away from the stall. She walked past her father without a word, standing tall, eyes locked on his. He nodded once. She nodded back. No tears, no panic, just understanding. Asterisk the SWAT officers secured the scene. No one was hurt, but the fallout that followed was the real shocker. Asterisk the footage from hallway cameras showed everything leading up to the bathroom. Multiple students had seen the trio dragging Amara. and even testified to hearing her cry out earlier that week. The school board held an emergency meeting. Tara, Jordan, and Lacey were all suspended pending investigation. Charges of harassment, assault, and attempted battery were filed by Amara's father. But something else happened. Something that would leave an even bigger impact than the punishment. Amara became a name everyone knew, but not for being the shy girl anymore. When news spread that her father was the SWAT team lead and had intervened during training. After hearing her voice on a hidden mic she wore for safety, students were stunned. It turned out Amara had been wearing the mic because her dad insisted, worried about the bullying, but respecting her wish not to escalate things. Unless absolutely necessary, she'd never expected to use it, but she hadn't turned it off either. That was Amara, prepared, calm, and silent, but never passive. The next day, the hallways were filled with whispers again, but this time, it was respect. One student, Sarah, approached her at her locker. "Hey, that was incredible. You okay?" Amara nodded. "Yeah, I'm okay." "You want to sit with us at lunch today?" Amara smiled, small but real. "Sure." The library was still her favorite place, but now, she didn't sit alone. She didn't walk with her head down, and she didn't wear her hoodie to hide anymore. She had no need. Because the moment they tried to drag her into darkness, she stepped into her own light with her father's unwavering support behind her, and her own unshakable courage leading the way. Sometimes, bravery isn't loud. It doesn't always punch or scream or roar. Sometimes it's quiet, still, watching, waiting, and when the moment is right it strikes. Thanks for watching Kindness Stories. If this story moved you, inspired you, or reminded you of the quiet strength we all carry inside, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. You never know who's silently holding the power to rise.